Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. Sort my bloody collar out. I was just about to sit and have my tea. Meatballs and spaghetti. And Ronaldo's ruined that. Thanks, Ronaldo. Garlic bread's going to be ruined. You can't reheat garlic bread. But look, this is breaking news for Manchester United fans, for Cristiano Ronaldo. He's probably got what he wanted. Manchester United have fired Cristiano Ronaldo. The official line is this. Cristiano Ronaldo is set to leave Manchester United by mutual agreement with immediate effect. The club thanks him for his immense contribution across two spells at Old Trafford, scoring 145 goals in 346 appearances, and wishes him and his family well for the future. Everyone at Manchester United remains focused on continuing the team's progress under Erik ten Hag and working together to deliver success on the pitch. I've got to say, it's the right thing to do. It's the right thing to do, and I applaud the club and echo everything that the club says on this. Obviously, there are wider issues at Manchester United. We know full well what those issues are, but in relation to the Ronaldo saga, it needed to be dealt with quickly. The final interview came out on Thursday. Many of us would have liked to have seen the interview resolved with Man United terminating the contract on the Friday, but you have to go through a legal process. Friday to Tuesday is basically 3 days. They've worked very, very quickly. They've worked very, very effectively, and they've made exactly the right decision here. I don't think there can be any doubts. It's very important for the legacy of Cristiano Ronaldo himself that this gets resolved quickly. It's very important for the future of Manchester United under Erik ten Hag that this gets resolved quickly. There will be a resentment there from both sides and the fan base, but I think time will be a great healer. And for Ronaldo to stay a legend of this club, which he will do for me, and I'll talk about that in a bit, then you need to move past this quickly. Ronaldo put that interview out last week. Some people might say, oh, basically sacking him 2 days before the World Cup starts for him is a bit insensitive. Doing an interview within 2 hours of Manchester United beating Fulham was insensitive. We can all say he said, she said. We're not going to play that game. It needed to be resolved quickly. As soon, get your comments in as well. As soon as Cristiano Ronaldo did that interview, it opened up this scenario where something needed to happen. The fact that it's immediate effects, the fact that it's mutual agreement benefits both parties. We do not have to pay his wages anymore. There is no severance pay as far as we understand. The fact that it's been resolved very, very quickly, it just shows that Ronaldo got what he wanted. And I think most people got what he was trying to do. Some people didn't really seem to figure it out. The minute he did that interview, I'd take him at Arsenal for 6 months as NA. Well, we'll talk about what happens next for Ronaldo, but let's talk about Manchester United first. Mark, what do you think this means for his legacy? No player is bigger than the club. Let's get Gakpo in and get back to big business, as Mark. Absolutely the right decision, says Sachin. Terrible it had to end this way. Always a club legend. At least Ten Hag has time to figure out a replacement for January. Gakpo incoming is available. Yes, thoughts, says Sachin. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. I think in relation to the Ronaldo interview, it was very, very clear to me and everybody else that that interview was occurring because he wanted out. I think that as part of getting out, he'd taken it on board with George Mendes that they just wanted to be free. I think they would have gone, look, at the end of the day, somebody will take us and they'll be willing to take us if they haven't got to pay a transfer fee. Of course, he probably doesn't get any wages for 6 weeks because he won't be playing for anybody until January, but ultimately, he's Cristiano Ronaldo. He's just gone past 500 million followers on Instagram. He's a very, very rich man. I'm sure he can do without £500,000 a week for 6 weeks until he finds a new club. The reality is that interview was about getting to this point. I suppose the interesting thing is who's won. Some of us will feel that Man United have come out with the right reaction and done the right thing. But at the end of the day, Ronaldo went first. Ronaldo said what he said in the interview, and I think he wanted to get to this point. Manchester United could only do what they've done. The win for United is that they don't have to pay his wages anymore. They don't have to pay him off. But ultimately, you lose your striker halfway through the season for nothing. We should have done it in August. We've done it now. Ronaldo will go where Ronaldo goes. I mean, United will go where United go. I think the real winners are probably the fans. We knew that Ronaldo wasn't part of the future, and we realised that very, very quickly this season. We therefore needed a striker in January. The fact that Ronaldo was gone means that we have to bring a striker in January. There's no if, buts or maybes. We have to bring one in. And if we're bringing somebody in, it should be somebody that Ten Hag wants, which means that we'll get somebody that is part of his vision. So It works. Slow Sports News says best for both parties. I remember him for what he's done for the club. He knew what he was doing, and it's cheap because he hasn't performed, says Slow Sports News. I think that the timing of decision by Manchester United is spot on. I applaud it. I've got no interest in what impact it's got on Ronaldo in the World Cup. He put that interview out last week. United have every right to respond. There was many ways Man United could have responded. We could have put Ten Hag out for an interview at the weekend. I think actually we've probably done it the right way. Terminate the contract, immediate effect. There is no coming back. You do not pass go. You do not get any more money. You're gone. You go and do what you want to do. It's a hard-hitting statement from Manchester United. It really is a hard-hitting statement, and it's a hard-hitting reality. But the reality is this. Cristiano Ronaldo leaves Manchester United with immediate effect. That's it. And mutual agreement really is Manchester United's nice way of saying that we both agree to this. We knew Cristiano's stance. We knew he wanted to go. That's why I did the interview. United had to act, and United have acted by going, look, we want you out. Now, how have United got round to doing this? Some people would say, how do you get round to doing this when, he's under contract? He's on a lot of money. I would say that United have basically said, look, you're in breach of contract. We could sue, but at the end of the day, pardon the pun, I don't mean that, sue, we could sue, but, keep it light-hearted. We could have sued him. He is in breach of contract. It could have gone through PFA and all this sort of crap. But at the end of the day, I think you sit down and you go, Cristiano, surely you're happy with no more wages and you're a free person to do what you want. Yes, I am. We're happy with that. See you later. Good luck. And that's it. So I think it's ended up being very easy. And in many ways, I'm grateful to Ronaldo for that. I know people won't be grateful. I think he's got what he wanted, so he's probably come out of this better. It's going to cost United more money to buy a striker that they wouldn't have wanted to buy, which I'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, look, the fact that it's so easy means that everyone gets what they want, really. Can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm happy he's gone. He's a legend in my eyes, but he stepped out of line, says Toga. In relation to Ronaldo's legend status, I really wouldn't worry about it. There'll be some of you going, no, I'll never respect him anymore. He's let us down. He's this, that, and the other. I get that. Everything's very fresh. But I guarantee you, in 6 months or a year's time, or maybe 2 days' time, when he's playing for Portugal, I will still want him to score. He's still a goat of the game. He's still a player that started off at United. He's one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and we made him. Yes, Sporting Lisbon gave him the chance, but we turned him from a youngster with talent into a world Ballon d'Or winner. Sir Alex did. He's a Man United legend for what he did in the first bit. This second bit, mistake. It's a big... There's always a big line that I remember being told. Never go back. Don't go back. Girlfriends, whatever, boyfriends, whatever. Don't go back because, there's a reason it ended in the first place. We shouldn't have gone back. Ronaldo left us for Real Madrid. His journey with Manchester United was complete, really. He left us because he wanted to go to Real Madrid. That journey was over. We shouldn't have brought him back. I wanted him to come back. I was singing Ollie's at the wheel. I said, give Ollie the job. I was wrong. We shouldn't have gone back. He shouldn't have come back. It's been a bit of a, a disaster in many ways, hasn't it? But I think that ultimately we are where we are, and it's the right place to be, and he will maintain his legend status. I'm absolutely confident of that. Davuda says, do you think Erik Ten Hag under pressure now? Even proven managers do not get this kind of backing. What Erik Ten Hag's now top four is now minimum requirement. I'm not even thinking like that, Dev. Maybe some people are. He didn't want to come back. That's why he's burnt the bridges. Club's a joke. He wins. We are left with the Glazers and no centre forward. Hope there's a further interview, says Seb Watson. Hopefully this is early enough for us to get a replacement in. Time to focus on that now. Everyone can move on from the circus, says Aram. I actually think there is a way of breaking this down in a very simple way. Ronaldo wanted to leave in August. Ten Hag wanted him to go in August. And if he'd gone in August, the fan base would have been okay with it. The Glazers didn't want it to happen because they saw shirt sales. They saw £500,000 a week. They saw having to pay for a replacement as something they didn't want to do. 2 months later, Ronaldo's gone. He's got what he wanted. Ten Hag's got what he wanted. And the fans have got what they know is best for the club. The loser in this is the Glazers, and I can deal with that. And the reason the Glazers have lost is they've lost their big shirt seller, and they've got to spend about £40 million to replace a player that they were paying £500,000 a week for. They've lost because they've got to spend money in January. We gain, Ronaldo gains, and Ten Hag gains. And I think that's where we're at. There is the only loser in this is the Glazers having to put their hand in the pocket. Now, if they don't put their hand in the pocket, we're back where we've been before. You know, the protests aren't going anywhere anyway, and they'll be enhanced by a club that lets their striker go, their star striker, and doesn't bother to replace him, which is not backing the manager. So they've got to back him. They've got to buy someone in January. Yes, I'd say Cody Gakpo's number one, but we'll have to wait and see. What pleases me the most, and I said this on the morning show, I was talking about Bellingham this morning, and I was talking about the right back this morning, and some clever dick in the chat was like, oh, you're just filling time because the World Cup's on. I'm not filling time. There is no time to fill. 4 weeks tonight, we're playing Burnley. 2 weeks tomorrow, we're in Cadiz playing them in a pre-season, you know, in a game to get us ready. 5 weeks time, the transfer window opens. We've got no striker for the Christmas games because we've got Martial and that's it. There is no time to fill. We need more time. We have now got 4 or 5 weeks to get the right back in and the striker we need urgently. There's no time to fill. It's time to move on. And Ronaldo and Manchester United parting ways now is great. It's great for Ronaldo and it's great for Man United because now we know there is no if, buts or maybes. He's not coming back. We are a striker short. We've only got Anthony Martial. Rashford's actually better off the left and isn't that good up front. We need another striker in. And Charlie McNeil, Joe Hugel aren't ready. We've got to buy a striker. And I expect now the headlines and the papers. I mean, you know, the trouble is you've got so many journalists out in the World Cup living the dream out there, you know, on the bloody Qatar money train, pretending that they like international football. They need to get back to Manchester and start focusing on Manchester United because we've got a really busy 4 weeks ahead of us on what player we're going to get. And that's what I want to focus on. And that's why Ronaldo going, there's no uncertainty now. He's gone. He's not a Man United player anymore. We've got a massive hole up front and we've got to fill it. I think it's hilarious he brought out a watch collection with the design of him scoring against United on it, says Electro Dan. I don't think it'll bother him this much at all. Carl says, this video isn't showing on my sub feed. I've got no idea what's going on with YouTube. You're not the first one to mention this. YouTube's got a problem. Your statement on Ronaldo made me think, man, people change quickly. You're a big Ronaldo supporter the entire last year and part of this year. Suddenly, you're Eric Ten Hag over Ronaldo. Guide should not have listened to his heart and should have joined City. Dev, I think you're just a little bit thick, to be honest with you. I don't mean to be offensive, but you basically just publicly had a pop at me in front of 15,000 people, and you clearly don't watch. I have never turned against Ronaldo. So that's a silly statement that you've made there. I still, and have said on this video, he's one of the greatest players to ever play the game, and he's a legend. I don't change my opinion on Cristiano Ronaldo. I wish he could have worked out at United with Ten Hag, but the minute he did the interview, he made the choice, not me. I've not changed my opinion of Ronaldo. I still love him as a player. He's still a legend of Man United, but I haven't changed my opinion. He's changed his opinion. He doesn't want to be here anymore. He wants out of United. I can't sit here and say about a player that doesn't want to be here, oh, please stay. It's a ridiculous thing to sack him. He doesn't want to be here, Dev. United have done the right thing. We need to get rid of him. And he doesn't want to be here. So we part ways. I respect everything about him. I still think he's a fantastic player. I still think he's one of the greatest players we've ever had. But he wants to go. He's got what he's got. And we get what we get. It is what it is. It's life. It happens. Was the right thing to do, but can't not help but feel sad, says Jason. I agree. Can't wait till he proves all you haters wrong again. Stuart, what is this you're talking about? This is just pure Ronaldo nostalgia nonsense. Now, Ronaldo is one of my favourite players. I've always had his back. But where are we having his back? What back are we meant to be having? He did the interview. He wants to go. If you've got his back... If you're such a big fucking Ronaldo fan and you've got his back, then you should be going, yeah, he's got what he wanted. He doesn't want to be here. How is he proving haters wrong? He doesn't want to be here. He's made that very clear. So the obvious answer to this is respect he doesn't want to be here. Respect Ten Hag if you're a Man United fan, and we move on. There was never a scenario where he wanted to be here. He didn't want to be here. He wants to go. And let's see where he goes. Mark, don't you think after Ronaldo is gone, media will focus on Ten Hag? And I think they will, Marius. I think Ten Hag, I said that last week, I think Ten Hag's situation might be quite difficult now. Dara says, won't be an expensive sign, it'll be a 6-month loan deal or a Nagalo type deal, says Dara. Well, this is the thing. The focus for me now is away from Ronaldo. It's firmly on the Glazers and John Murtough. Are they going to provide what Erik Ten Hag needs? And Erik Ten Hag at this moment in time 100% desperately needs to be backed, and he desperately needs to get a good replacement in. So I think it's absolutely huge that happens. I suppose there's a little bit of interest in what Ronaldo does next. Twice my lifetime I've witnessed Ronaldo leave United. As much as it hurts, says Tom, right thing to do, frees up wages, players happier. Mutual consent means he got paid off, right? United statement was cold but polite, the way it needed to be. I'd be very surprised if he's been paid off. It's a duck. Why would United pay him off? I don't think we've paid him off. I think he's gone. No payoff. It might come out that there is, but I'd be very surprised. Rose says, I'd just like to say I love the community. Me and my recent trip around the Americas, you've built an amazing thing here. All the best. Thank you very much, Rose. We don't need him. We play better without him, says Roddy. Ronaldo is wrong, yes, but we'll now see how right he is. The Glazers won't get Ten Hag a striker. Well, that's PJ. I don't disagree with that. Whether we'll be in a better position without Ronaldo, we'll have to wait and see. But he wanted to go. He wanted to leave. That's where we are, of course. So that's what we have to focus on. Where do I think Ronaldo will go? I think everyone's going to get very surprised. I think we're going to see a very different Cristiano Ronaldo. He's now free. He's free to do what he wants, and I think that's going to be really, really interesting to see what happens next with Cristiano. I do think that there will be a lot of offers. Ray says, I hate how Ronaldo has ended this. All about Champions League for him, but I hope we never lose the club fans. But we Manchester United need to move with our club, says Ray. And thanks for being a member, Maxud. I think that it's hugely interesting with regards to where we're at now and where he will end up going. I think he will get a lot of offers. I think Ronaldo will get a lot of offers. He's free. He's a free agent, so there's no transfer fee. And I don't think he'll want £500,000 a week. He will want to play for a Champions League club. And I think George Mendes will go round a number of Champions League clubs and say, he's free. You don't have to pay anything. And these are his wage demands. And they'll see who goes for it. And, we had an Arsenal fan in there. I wouldn't be surprised if... the interesting thing for me is where's the further detail and will we get the further detail? Have United said you can go, but you're not allowed to go to a Premier League club? Have United said we don't care, you can just go? Because he might end up being a Chelsea player in January. He might end up being a PSG player. He might end up being an Arsenal player. He might end up being a Spurs player. I don't think that will happen, but is there any limits on what United have done? And how can those limits apply when it's a free agent? Now that Ronaldo left, do you think there is a higher chance at Gakpo deal? I do said, Mohamed, I'm not going to change my opinion on that. I think we will buy a striker and I think it will be Gakpo. Long-time lurker, love the content and channel. Do you have a striker in mind we should sign? I think Gakpo, Senatsak. Noah, welcome to the Members Club. And Louis says, it's a very sad state of affairs. I'm still sad he ended it as it was, but we need to learn this lesson. Now we need a striker and we need to move on, says Louis. Ronaldo to West Ham, says West Ham. Bridge, I think wherever he ends up going, it will be wherever he ends up going. I think it will be to a Champions League club. Ronaldo's put a statement out as well. I wish the team every success for the remainder of the season and for the future. It's the right thing to do, and I think we just need a bit of time to sort of digest it, don't we? But I'd be very interested to see where he goes as a just out of interest. I'd be very interested to see where he ends up going, and I'd be more interested to see what United are going to do, because we've got to buy a striker, and it can't be a Garlo or something like that. Ronaldo come to Milan, says Ronan. Sad that it's the end now. We'll focus on Ten Hag, on what he does with our club. Excited for January on who we'll bring in. Hopefully Gakpo, says Wano. I'm a Ronaldo fan, but I'm a Man United fan more than anything. I'm interested to see where he's going to play next, but I'm more interested to see what United are going to do next. We've got to go and buy a striker now. I'm over the moon. Says go in no matter what cost, says Charlie. I'm going to say something here and I'm going to predict it. I think United will do something big. I know people are saying the Glazers won't want to spend and they'll go and get an Agallo on loan. Ronaldo paid off in advance talks with Arsenal. Check the media. We don't want him, say Vindaloo. And Mark, this will only bring the players together, rejuvenate the morale of the players. Everything seems to be about Ronaldo in the dressing room, says EJ. I think United will want to do something to react. They've just lost a very high-profile player, and I think they will want to react. And I think they have to react, because I think we've said this before. The knives have been out for Ten Hag from day one. They're just hidden. There was a lot of people that didn't want Ten Hag, media, ex-players. They wanted Poch. They've not been able to go in on him because he's had a pretty decent start. If things start to tail off, I think there's a lot of reasons for people to go in on him, especially this Ronaldo thing. So the club need to back Ten Hag. They need to get somebody decent in up front. And I think they've got to go for a younger profile striker. Personally, I couldn't care less about Ronaldo and Ronaldo FC anymore. We need to back our manager and get a replacement in January, says Malav. And so, respect Ten Hag. We won nothing here, and supports the Glazers by saying this is a good club and they want the best for the club. Win a trophy, then I will, says Stuart. Stuart, I sense a lot of anger in you, Stuart. I sense a lot of frustration in you, Stuart. And all I can say to that is, what are you angry about? Like, I'm one of Ronaldo's biggest fans. I think he's an absolute legend of this football club. But he did this. He forced the move. He did the interview. Getting angry about Ten Hag or Manchester United. If Ronaldo wanted to be part of this journey, he would still be part of this journey. He didn't want to do it. He wanted what he wanted, which is to get out of Man United. And I don't disbelieve that he doesn't love the club and he loves the fans, but that doesn't change the fact that he wanted out, and he wanted out in August. There is no resentment to Ten Hag on my part, and there is no resentment to Ronaldo. It is what it is. The club should have allowed this to happen in August. But anybody who's getting angry with Ten Hag and taking Ronaldo's side, what is that side? I don't understand it. He's not being kicked out of the club. I want to be here. Please don't let me go. I'd understand that. It's a mutual thing, and it's very much driven by his desire to get out. So stop supporting Man United and go and support Ronaldo's next club if you're really angry. But as a United fan, I think you can sleep relatively comfortable tonight knowing that Ronaldo's got what he wanted and Man United have now got what they want. It's a mutual parting of ways, and everybody wants it to happen. Fortunately, I've been in this position with Roy Keane and Sir Alex. I love them both, and in 2006, it was a difficult one when they parted ways, but it was the right thing to do. Hi, Mark, I might be wrong, but does Ronaldo not have to be registered to play Champions League football at the start of the season? No, you're wrong, William. He can be registered in January. Shame it ended like this with Ronaldo. Do you reckon the United board will allocate more funds for more signings? How about Osman from Napoli, says Harry King. And what if Ronaldo is part of a consortium that buys United? Says Aka. Look, it might not be over, Aka. You know, at some point in the future, Cristiano Ronaldo is a very rich man, and he might end up being part of something that does buy United. I don't know whether that's what he wants to do. I don't know whether that's what he would do. Philemon, welcome to the Members Club. But you know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, won't we? But there's a lot United can do, and there's certainly a deal I think is a very interesting deal that I'm going to talk about on the 9 o'clock show. So look, I'm live on That's Football at 7 o'clock tonight for France against Australia, and then we're going to be back here on the United Stand at 9 o'clock. So we should have some more news coming in by then. But there was a story I was going to be talking about at 9 o'clock anyway, which we'll definitely be talking about at 9 o'clock now anyway, which revolves around a potential replacement that isn't Cody Gakpo. So that will be very interesting to see whether that actually does become a reality or not. But look, Cristiano Ronaldo, Manchester United, they have parted ways. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. We're back at 9 o'clock. It's big news for Manchester United. It's big news for everybody. I'm on That's Football at 7 for the France game, and then we're back here at 9 o'clock anyway. So tune in again at 9 if you're not joining me on That's Football. It's big news, and yeah, it's the right news, and we move on from here. Thanks everyone for watching. Speak to you in a bit. I'm going to go and get me meatballs now because I'm bloody starving.